Right, so basically here I just wanted to showcase a little storyline behind my work, well, the development of my game, shall we say. And basically we'll start in Midgard, where you have Huldra, who is like a seductive creature of the forest, as well as the Utgardi and the Otargi and the Skogamore and the Trolls. Now these are basically outlaws who have committed crimes of rape and murder and been banished from the village. The Otargi are people who don't live in the forest and they live on the outside, and the Skogamore are the ones who live in the forest. The Trolls live in the mountains, and there's a few other things as well as like bears and wolves that you'll be able to hunt. Anyway, you can carry on from there down to Nidavellir, which is the realm of the dwarves, and it is basically an iron fortress of where they build their weapons and stuff, but it also coincides with the same existence as Svartalheim, where the dark elves live. Now the dwarves have a leader called Motsagmir, you can see here, but the dark elves, or the black elves, also known as the Dakalfa, they have no leader. There's no leader there. It's just a unled realm, shall we say. And then from there we go on down to Muspelheim, what most would consider hell in like Catholicism or something. This isn't actually hell. It's just a realm outside of the realms, basically in its own little cosmos, shall we say. And basically the leader of this place is Sutor, who is said to bring the whole destruction of the Norse world, the Nine Worlds, aka Ragnarok. And here is Eldjotnar. So Jotnar is basically a giant, but this is Eldjotnar, which is fire giant. So yeah, you have giants roaming around, fire giants and stuff. I'm going to put some other creatures in there as well that are fire related, but they have to make sure they are related in Norse mythology, because that is what I'm creating, a game that is based off true facts of Norse mythology, not just Hollywood and everything. So after this anyway, you end up to the gates of Garma. The gates of hell, where Garma is the guard dog that guards the gates of hell. I couldn't get my words out then. So you got to defeat him in order to get into Helheim, which is aka hell. And here you'll find a Drogo, which is basically an undead soldier who guards buried treasure. And then here you have Vordor, who's basically someone who guides the dead to their destination. There's a few others in here as well, but there's also what's called a Volospa. There's 3 of these. Now this is the one here on the side that you'll find here. And these are the 3 giant roosters of the Norse world. Basically they are said to have made a sound as soon as Ragnarok is coming, the end of the world. So once all 3 of these make a sound, it means that Ragnarok's coming. The idea of me putting them in the game is because you're seeking out vengeance towards the gods of destruction and war. So when you come across these, once you've highlighted all 3, it notifies the gods that you are on the way and a war is about to begin. So yeah, the one of them, last ones, is near the end, so yeah. Anyway, after that you've got Hel. Once you make it through all there, you get to Hel, who is the leader of all. She's half dead, half goddess. Her face is meant to be split, well, the whole body's meant to be split in half. I've actually got a model somewhere, but that's a different story. And then after that, you go through and you get to Nidhogg, who is the dragon that chews on the roots of Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil being the tree of life, the whole tree that creates this world. Every branch of Yggdrasil. Okay, I didn't realise the recording had a limit then. So anyway, yeah, so we're back here at Midgard, and we've gone through all that, we're back here at Midgard. So from here you have the options now to go north, west, being south and east. The option to go north is actually blocked off at the moment due to this being your last destination to go, so you can choose to go either south or west. Yeah. Not south, west or east rather, sorry. So let's go east. And here you'll come across Jormungandr, because Jormungandr is a giant serpent who circulates the whole of Midgard, as Midgard is just a earth, but basically stuck in the middle of a giant ocean surrounded by sea monsters. Him being the guardian of it all and guarding it all, Jormungandr. So yeah, as you try to cross here to get to Jotunheim, Jormungandr, who is a Jotun himself, I believe, if I'm correct, yep, will try to stop you, so you've got to defeat him in order to cross, as well as the Brunmigi, who will guard the wells. Now there is 3 wells, amongst them is the 3 witches, the Verdandi and Skulls, who are the fortune tellers of the world, and they're Fred and Fates lies of them, and they can read you the fortune and stuff in the future. So yeah, basically you come here, you've got to defeat these in order to go speak to them, blah blah. And I haven't quite concepted what they're going to be telling you and stuff, but yeah. And then obviously Jotunheim, this is Jotunheim, and that's Ygir, I believe. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. These are things I need to learn, people. I'm learning it myself, but obviously I want to educate people as well as I've been educated throughout this journey into the whole truth behind Norse mythology and stuff. So yeah, this is Jotunheim, a big frozen world of giants. Here you have Hrasvelga, who is a giant eagle. You have the Jotun, who are giants. You have Loki, who is a Jotun himself, who resides in Usgard, which is a fortress within Jotunheim. You have Odumbla, the frozen big giant cow, who is actually the first ever cow to be created, and his milk was used to help Yogard, the first ever giant, and start the creation of giants. And you'll come across his body somewhere within the ice in the whole realm. It's not actually going to be an enemy or anything you fight, unlike Loki. But yeah, and then you've got your second rooster that you come across. So then coming back, as you go the other way, you'll come across Nitahif, the forest. This is where you'll probably find Huldra, you'll find Selkala, who is half forest, half human, and Fafnir, who is actually a dwarf, who is a greedy dwarf, and he drank a potion before for pure greed, and the potion ended up making him half dragon, half dwarf. So he resides in Nizahif, and he's actually like not a good dragon, because like yeah, he's just greedy. So yeah, anyway, after that, once you've defeated both of them and you're able to get through Nizahif, to the other side, when you get to the ocean part, if you look ahead, you can see 2 islands, but they're not just normal islands. One is Hagulfa, which is on top of like a big fish kind of sea monster thing, and then Lingabaka, which is on top of a whale. And so these 2 will be side by side, and you'll be amazed, obviously, like, oh my god, 2 islands on top of animals, like giant animals within the sea. And then as you travel to get to there, you'll end up having to fight Kraken, which will be resided in the middle, but you won't see Kraken until he resurfaces. So yeah, anyway, back here. Now that you've done all that, you can go upwards to Niflhelm, the realm of not the dead, but the spirits, like the wandering spirits, and it's just pure ice, never endingness. Now, before you get in here, this is the well, the second well you'll come across, where the witches are, and outside the well is a Foskru, and he will tell you how to get inside of it. He'll guide you. There's a little gap here, there'll be a cliff, you can jump through, dive through it, and that'll be your entrance into Niflheim. Okay, I'm not too sure where it cut out recording then, but so we squeezed it all in. Anyway, yeah, so we're saying we've got Niflheim after that. It's the realm of the souls, and they just wonder. And in here, and to get in there, you have to go through Helgelgamer, one of the wells. Fosgrim will let you know how to get in there. And when you're in the darkest corner of Niflheim, this isn't the only thing in Niflheim, but this is just the first thing I've put in there, is the Dark Lake of Amsvatnir. Now this was written in poetry of Norse mythology, but there was no description as to where it actually was. It was just said to be in a dark black lake on an island in the middle of the lake, and this is where Fenrir is said to have been chained up for the third time by the gods, because he broke out the first two chains, but this chain was harder and made of different material. So yeah, he's meant to be there in the middle of it, but as I was saying, it didn't have any descriptive nature to where exactly it was in the Norse realm, but it did have a descriptive nature as to its surrounding, what kind of area it was, being cold, dark, dingy and stuff. And with all the realms, I thought, well, it sounds like it would be in Niflheim, and then put two and two together. Fenrir is from Niflheim. Is either from Niflheim or not Jotunheim, from the two cold realms. I'm pretty sure it's from Niflheim. I'll double check to make sure anyway, but yeah, I just put the two and two together and I was like, well, that sounds like it would be in here. So yeah, in the darkest corner you'll find a lake where you'll find Fenrir chained up, and you have to break him free, obtaining two different chains which you'll have in your hand, and you can just pick them up, and there'll be strong chains and there'll be weapons, and you can whip people with the weapons as weapons. Anyway, you go up there and then you end up in Alfheim, a beautiful magical fantasy place of elves, or La Salfa, the light elves, fairies and pixies. You'll come across Landvatnir before you walk into it, and it's just a giant dude that's made of trees and stuff. He's basically the epiphany of nature, and he'll let you know everything is peaceful. This is a peaceful realm, but there is still going to be battles ahead, and obviously you've got unicorns rolling around, and pixies and fairies floating around and stuff. It's very, very magical, with big intertwined trees and twirling trees and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to creating that realm. But here you'll have Vatir, who is an element controller, and he controls elements. So you'll come across him and you'll have to fight him, but not in the reason that he's an enemy, more in the sense that he is trying to challenge you to make sure that you are ready for the battle ahead. Because in this realm, and in Vanaheim, I'll get to that in a bit, is the more peaceful, love-keeping gods. So they don't really want to have war with you. In fact, they would love nothing more than to bring down the gods above them, who are the gods of war and stuff. They did try out one period in time, which I will leave around the game, little clues and inklings to the stories beyond Norse mythology, so you kind of get an inkling. The things that I've left out in detail, if you want to dive deeper into the Norse mythology. But yeah, these are just the peaceful ones. So like, and then you meet Freya. I don't know, I haven't picked up a story on him yet to do with what you're going to talk about, but I know as much as you'll meet all the light elves, there'll be NPCs, you'll have Vatir, blah blah blah, and then you can move on then to Vanaheim, where you'll come across Shimina, which is one of the biggest bulls. It's just dead in the field, and he's used for his meat to feed the gods. And in Vanaheim, it's just a magical realm where the gods reside, and there's boars everywhere and cows. And you got the god Nerfus as well as the god Freya, whose bull is Hildifnir, and then her her horse is Vladugov, who controls fire. And so this is going to be in the game as well. There's going to be rides as well as the boars. So anything you unlock throughout the game, you can then change into your ride. So instead of just riding a horse around the whole game, if you want, you've unlocked, I don't know, Fenrir, you can start riding around Fenrir in the game. If you've unlocked, let's say, Hidilsni, you can ride around in them, or Boldolgotha. I'm probably saying his names wrong, I've still got to learn them yet. not exactly fluent with the language yet, but yeah, after that then you'll see the sea part again, which will be, you'll come across Nixie, who I believe both of these are, or I need to just double check the storyline. I have wrote down the storyline somewhere as well. But yeah, I believe these are the daughters of Njord, who is the god of the sea, basically. He's like, I forgot what his name is in Greek mythology now. Poseidon, is that right? Poseidon, yeah. He's like that god. Yeah, and then you can come back then, and Bifrost Bridge will be unlocked, where you'll come across Heimdall. Now Heimdall will warn everyone that war is coming, as well as coming across the last of the three wells, and then here we have Asgard, the biggest of realms. This one will take a while, but it will be one of the last levels, and then you'll come across. So here will be Valhalla, which is the hall of Odin, and all the Valkyries will be there. You'll have to pardon my French, you'll have to battle the Valkyries, as well as Frigg. There will be the hall of all the horses. So you'll unlock a lot of horses in one sitting, and this will be all the different gods' horses. Yep, so that's all the horses that we reside there, and you can unlock them. As well as coming across all the different gods. So you've got Bragi and his wife Idun, you got Thor, you got Tyr, you got Balder, and you have Odin. As well as Frigg over here with the Valkyries. Odin being your last, obviously. He'll be riding Tansgrinir and Tansgrofnir. As you first fight him, then once you defeat them, they'll run off, he'll end up falling off his finger, he'll whistle, he'll call Sleipnir. And then you've got to defeat him and take him off Sleipnir, and then he'll call Jerry and Freki. You've got to defeat Jerry and Freki, and then finally he actually decides to fight you on his own. So you got to defeat him like 4 different times. It's going to be like one of the most ultimate badass bosses in a game ever. Once you do that, you then walk through to the top of Yggdrasil, and in the branches of Yggdrasil lie these animals. And then Folnir will talk to you in the centre of it all. It's the one that resides on top of the eagle. These giants will overshadow you, but they'll be surrounding you as you walk towards Fender. And then, as that's done, the final and last level, Skollumhati, who chased the sun and moon, along with Sol, who is the god of sun, and Mani, who is the god of moons, in order to get to the next cosmos. Because the poetry the mead of poetry has gave you wisdom now and made you realise that there is more to this world than just the cosmos you live in, just more than Yggdrasil. There is the 9 worlds, which is Norse mythology, and there is the ordered universe, which is the Greek mythology. You've got the Branma, I can't remember the name of it now, but I'm studying it still at the moment, and that is the Hindu. You've got the Pharaoh's cosmos. There is no name for it, so it's called the Pharaoh's cosmos, as well as Aztec, which is the 13 heavens. So yeah, there's like 7 different sequels to the game after I've done this. But yeah, in order to be able to travel through the cosmos, you'll have to defeat these in order to have Sol's chariot that chases the sun. So yeah, in order to be able to travel through the cosmos, you need to defeat these and then utilise this in the next game to be able to travel through the cosmos. But I'm not going to let you just travel through the cosmos randomly, obviously. In the next one, I'll probably be like, I don't know, you guys to jump on these and travel through to the next cosmos, but because you don't know how to ride these and never read this before, they're uncontrollable, and then they end up crashing, and he ends up crashing into one of the cosmoses, and then from there you got to figure out your way through that cosmos. It could be the Hindu cosmos, it could be the Greek cosmos, I don't know.